Welcome to the BigZo podcast. I am he is me. What's up, world? Hope everybody's doing good out there. Staying hydrated or staying dressed warmly, whatever this St. Louis weather gonna give you. Because I think we get all four seasons in a week. So hopefully you're adapting to whatever the climate is. Let's get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. I'm gonna start off. I want to talk about K. Dot, Kendrick Lamar, aka Kung Fu Kenny, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers. Came out over the weekend, Friday, I believe, and did not disappoint. He came with the Heart Five a few days before, or a week before, however long before the official album came out, to kind of set the tone. And man, did he set the tone. Uh, his last album, Damn, was released, I believe, 4 or 5 years ago. So haven't heard much from him then. But I kind of like when entertainers or artists or actors or whatever. I kind of like when they get low. I kind of like when you really don't see them on the scene for real like that until it's time for business. Like, I don't have a problem with that. But yo, this album, man, it like I said, he's been going for 5 years, and I tell you what, to put an album together like this, it takes about 5 years. Like, you have to go through something. Something has to happen to you. You have to have an epiphany. You have to have some type of growth, some type of evolving stage in your life, some type of change, some type of realistic, like a reality check. Like, yo, the album I think is really, you almost not want to call it hip hop. Like, this is art. Like, this is real life art in real time. Um, it takes about 5 years to put a project out like this. You can't rush. You can't rush work like this. This was slow cooked, and seasoned to perfection. This was pot roast. This wasn't something you could put in the microwave. This sat in a crock pot for 5 years and simmered and slow cooked until it was ready. And it was perfection. I mean, if you and I sat with it all weekend. A lot of albums, man, you could just give them, you just listen to them one time and be like, all right, that was dope, and then you move on. But nah, not this. You got to sit with it and let it saturate you, let it consume you. You have to pay attention. It's almost like being on a first date. Like, you have to give it your undivided attention, so you can catch everything and hear everything and feel everything. To me, this album, man, I mean, just amazing songs. Like, it covers everything. It covers everything that people go through. And honestly, I feel like, as a black man, like, yo, he nailed it. He nailed it, from childhood trauma to just being transparent with who you really are, and not, capping out here. I mean, he covers infidelity. He covers just every damn near every social issue, um whether it's general or that you go through as a black person. Because although, it's the same earth, but two different worlds. Same planet, two different worlds. We grew up a little different. A lot of us grew up a little different, a little harder. And he covers it, man. He covers it. And I'm sure it's still plenty that I didn't catch. And like I'm like a lyrics guy, a lyric before a beat guy. Like I can, this album it really don't even need any music, but just thank you for this hour body of work, man. And it's like 18 tracks, but they broken up like 9 and 9. So if they were selling physical copies, it'd be I'm probably a double disc. But Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, man, yo, it's every just when you get used to a certain sound, like he's been going for 5 years. So when you or his own album is been it's been 5 years since Damn. I mean, he has the Black Panther project, which was amazing. But man, when you are when you get used to a certain sound, a certain style, just a certain feel for music, then he comes along and just hits you with this project, man, which is just refreshing. And I think, this is daily bread. This is daily bread. Like if you as a man, if you can't listen to this album and feel and see yourself in a lot of the subject matter, then you're not being real with yourself, homeboy. You're not being real with yourself. Because this album should make you just take a personal reflection of who you are. And also who you are trying to become. It was just dope all the way through. It was dope all the way through. Top to bottom. Top to bottom. And me personally, I don't. It's probably likely not to happen, but excuse me. I would love to see a video for every song. Every song, I would love to see a video. I mean, my man is very calculated. Nothing is by mistake with this guy. He's very calculated, very strategic when putting together a project. But if you haven't heard it by now, I don't know what your issue is, what you're waiting on. But the album is dope. Um, I wanted to chop it up a little bit about, I guess you could call it. Okay, so pretty much the thing that I've been seeing the last few days that's been ongoing is basically just talking about financial stability and all of this other stuff. I want to take a different approach because financial stability doesn't make a man husband material. Because if you want to be real, it's a lot that come with their financial stability, and it's a lot that don't come with it. It's a lot of people out here who are in financially stable relationships and are miserable because of the lack of intangibles. And to me, the intangibles are what's most important. Not minimizing, the basics. Yes, you want to be with someone who's financially stable, or you want to be in a relationship with financial stability, whether it's a sole provider or it's together, joint. But to me, it's about the intangibles, man. You have to look for them intangibles because a dude could be financially stable and be the worst dude ever. Like that doesn't mean he is faithful. It doesn't, he could be neglectful. He could be abusive, verbally, emotionally, mentally, physically. You don't know until you get into the thick of things. Because we never really show who we truly are until time has passed. So it may look good on the surface, but once you get into the thick of it, then those true realities come to the forefront. But he could be neglectful, he could be selfish, not cater to your needs, not even cater to your wants. And even if you is getting what you want, it's not what you need. It may not be what you need. So to me, it's the intangibles, man. Like how does this person make you feel? Do you feel like you could be vulnerable? Do they make you feel you can be authentic? Do they make you feel comfortable with who you are? Do they make you feel comfortable about your flaws, things that you may not like about yourself, things that you may be insecure about? Do they make you feel comfortable with those things? Does this person support you? Do they offer emotional support? Not just financial support. Do they offer emotional support? Mental support? Hell, physical support. Do they support your dreams and your aspirations? Anything that you trying to accomplish, whether it be trying to get through some type of education or start a business or whatever it is, whatever your journey may be. Do they support your journey? Or is it all about them? It's the intangibles. It's the intangibles that make the relationship go. Like, do you feel at peace with this person? Like, can you relax? Can you exhale? Can you not be around this person and not knowing what they're doing and be okay? Do they reassure you? Because women need reassurance. And that's not a bad thing. But do they reassure you? So we got to be more detailed when it comes to what it is that we seem to be looking for. Because honestly, in my opinion, I don't think we really know what we want until that person shows us what we want and what we don't want. Yeah, we know what we don't want on the surface. Like, we know we don't want the major things. We don't want a cheater. We don't want, I don't know, someone that's abusive. Like, we don't want those things, but the other things that we know we don't want. And I think we don't know until that other person shows us. And then once that person starts showing us what it is that we want or what we need, then we're able to look at other people and dissect and say, nah, I don't want that. I'm not willing to deal with that. Because have somebody ever been telling you about, like, a guy or a woman that they may be dating or in a relationship with, and they're putting them through something, and you hearing what they telling you, and you like, nah, that couldn't be me. That's an example of showing you what you don't want, what you're not willing to put up with. And I think that's what it is. We don't really know until that person shows us. Yeah, we have an idea. We may have a list. We may have requirements. But to me, all of that should be subject to change, depending on the person. Now, some things are just non-negotiable. But I think on your list of things that you require or that you may think that you want or need, it has to be subject to change. It has to be room. It has to be wiggle room. It shouldn't be set in stone. So I just think that we just need to be more detailed when it comes to looking out here. Because I didn't know what I want. I didn't know what I wanted. I had no clue. I thought I knew until I was shown. Oh no, I like that. Ugh, no, I don't like that. I like that. That person has to show you. But I just think that it's a journey, man. We want everything up front. We want the success. We want the happy ending without going through the beginning and the middle. We want to just get right to the happy ending without going through the beginning and the middle, without developing, without investing, without working at it, putting forth that effort. We just want to get to the success. And just like it's cliche, but just like with anything in life, there's really no shortcuts. Anything worth doing is worth doing it the right way, which oftentimes is the long way. I think I may have spoke on this, but I had something. It didn't happen to me, but I was reflecting on this situation. Hey, you have to protect your, be careful with who you help. Be careful with who you deal with. Be careful who you listen to. And just be careful of other people's energy and vibe not seeping into your spirit. Because, people can be leeches and just drain you and just like suck the energy and the positivity and all of that up out of you. And a lot of times people fall out over nothing, whether it's miscommunication or whether it's just I'm gonna say lack of communication, not miscommunication, lack of communication. So, hey, just understand that if you are helping, if you're being there for somebody, if you're helping someone, if you're trying to be a good friend or whatever, don't it'll do you better. It'll serve you better to not expect anything in return. Just be prepared to take the L, or just don't worry about it. Because you're doing yourself an injustice, expecting a pat on the back, recognition, or like just some kind of reward. A message to the fellas. Check this out, man. I don't know how you guys feel about the rose, but it's on the scene and it's doing damage. And I know a lot of y'all may be feeling, like you're at a disadvantage. But I'm gonna say embrace it. Embrace it. Don't be intimidated by it. Embrace it. Because if you think about it, it's really doing all of the work for you. That way, when it's your time to shine, you can just focus on you, King, and get yours. Let that rose take her out. And then you do your thing and just focus on you. Why would you be mad at that? Don't be mad at that. Embrace that. Embrace that. It's practically cutting your work in half. Now your performance don't have to be up to par. Because I'm gonna tell you what, when that dick whack, women notice all your flaws. Whack dick make a woman notice all your flaws. It could be anything. It could be the way you chew, the way you breathe, the way you walk, the way you talk, The way you comb your hair, the way you do anything, the way you drive. It could be the way you watch TV. You could just be sitting down watching TV. She'd be like, "Why you holding the remote like that?" Yo, when the verdict comes out, and the jury say it's whack, yo, all all of them flaws are coming to the forefront. So embrace that rose. It can only help, dog. It can only help. Embrace the rose. Let her have her flower. And I got a question for the ladies. Yo, when it comes to dating, what's more important? Is it the amount of money being spent on the date, or the creativity of the date being put together? Does it really matter how much they spend? Do a dude really have to come up out the pocket a couple hundred on the first date, the first couple of dates? Or is it just about the actual creativity and just really just getting to know one another before you proceed and get all off into it? I I think I'm not mad at because first impressions are everything. First impressions are everything. You want to be impressive, but I think that there's other ways that you can be impressive by other than just flashing the bread. I mean, if you want to flash the bread, like I ain't mad at that either. Sometimes you got to show up and show out, but I think you can show up and show out also without it being necessarily a lot of finances involved. Because take social media out of it. Social media will have you to believe that that's what's important. But if you really get into these comments and what you see online, and you actually listen to these women, they actually looking for something simple. It's the effort that they have a problem with. They feel like it's a lack of effort. It doesn't take much. I'm saying for some. Some it take a lot. But for some, it's just about the effort. It's about the thought. It's actually the thought that counts. So I think it's more so the effort than the actual financial aspect of it. Like, you can just meet up at the park and talk. Go get some ice cream or something. And just walk and talk. And get to know each other. Don't go to the movies. That's a trash first date. Don't go to the movies. The matter of fact, I would say the first 5 dates, do not go to the movies. Do anything other than go to the movies. You can do a comedy show and something other than dinner. I mean, of course, dinner is usually involved. Eating is usually involved, but comedy show, bowling, go to the museum, axe throwing, not the gun range because you don't know it like that yet. But just broaden your horizons. Dinner in a movie. Dinner in a movie is for couples who got time in. And dinner in the movie is just cool. I know you know me. Hey, let's go see this movie. But it's about the effort. It's about the effort. I think that they pay attention more to the effort than the actual date itself. So you call it a cheap date, but cheap date versus expensive date. But it is what it is. What is a pet peeve that's petty as hell, but it's a deal breaker? Like, it's petty, it just is what it is. Like, what's the pettiest thing that you gave a guy or gave a woman an automatic 3 strikes? It's petty, but it just is what it is. I don't even want to say pet peeve. What's something that's just petty? That's a deal breaker. You can't explain it, but you just won't stand for it. I think for me, it would be like talking too much, like dominating the conversation. But at the same time, you want a person to talk because the more they talk, the more you get to know if you're really listening. But like, don't dominate the conversation. I remember it was a first date, man, and she talked through everything. Through everything. We talked, she talked rather. She talked. Even through, and I know I said like don't do the movie, but this was a long time ago, early 20s, I ain't know about it. Went to the movies. Talked through the whole movie. The whole movie. On the way there, in line, at the concession stand, in the actual theater, coming out the theater, in the car, on the way back home, on the way back to her car rather. Got like 5 minutes from her car and was like, you so quiet, tell me about you. No, because this is it. But yeah, I don't do all that talking. I'm not a big talker either. Not like not like that. I prefer to listen. Like I'm more of a listener. But yo, I saw this video where this girl was talking about how she get back at her guy when she mad, and she was talking about the silent treatment. And I'm gonna say this, yo, that silent treatment coming from either side, yo, that's no bueno. That is the quickest way to me to destroy the relationship or whatever it is you're trying to build. Because the silent treatment to me is a form of abuse. Is it can impact the person. Excuse me. It can impact the person that you're giving the silent treatment to. It can impact them mentally and emotionally. But at the same time, you hurting yourself too because all you're doing is showing that person how to deal without you, how to cope without you. The more you do it, the better they get at coping without you, without your presence, without your voice, without being around you. They get stronger and stronger. You do it too much, hey, you're gonna silent treatment yourself right about a relationship. And it's funny because everybody think that they're such great communicators. But when you get mad at a person, get an attitude or have a little fallout or disagreement or whatever it is, what's the first thing we do? Get silent and ignore them. Stop communicating. But everybody is such great communicators, but not when it's time to communicate. And that's yo, that's weird to me. The silent treatment, man, is not good because I'm telling you, you're gonna do it one too many times, and then what's happening is you're gonna reach out, they ain't gonna reach back. Now you getting the silent treatment, but it's permanently. Hey, I was watching this documentary on Netflix called Our Father, and it was about this doctor who was basically impregnating women uh, with his sperm. So these couples or these women or whatever was having problems with getting pregnant. They couldn't do it, for whatever reason. They was having issues. So they was going to this guy and, to get pregnant. And dude was not using their significant other's semen. He was using his. And my man did this to over 40 women and counting. This dude has fathered over 90 children and counting. And he's alive and well. They took him to court to try to get some justice. He got a slap on the wrist. He got like a level 6 felon. I'm not really familiar with the legal terms, but a level 6 felon and was fined $500. They didn't say his license was revoked, or they didn't get him for malpractice. They didn't get him for none of that, because they were saying in the documentary there's no like federal laws against what he was actually doing. To me, that's a form of rape. They actually said, I forget how they labeled it though. But that's terrible, man. Imagine having a baby and you thinking, all right, we finally did it. And it's a joyous occasion, and you just you looking forward to parenthood, and then come to find out as your kid is getting older and progressing in life, you start looking at them and the child don't look nothing like you or have any of your features or characteristics. It's like you're raising a stranger, and then come to find out the child is not even yours. It's not the father's. It's still the mother's, but it's not the father's. And y'all been raising this child the whole time like one big happy family. Like, my man should, forget the judicial system. It should have been some street justice. They should have been putting hands and feet on this dude. My man populated a small community. Like, most of them was like within like a 20-mile radius of each other. 20 to 25 miles radius of each other. And that's just the ones that know about it, that became aware. Like, it was wild. It was some wild shit. If you haven't seen it, just check it out. It's interesting. Like, it's an interesting documentary. Like, I just couldn't believe that he was able to get that off. And then he actually wanted sympathy. So when the lady, when they start figuring out what he was doing, they was telling him like, we about to expose you. And he was like begging and pleading, was like, nah, because it could ruin his marriage. It'll ruin his church that he attended. I guess he was a big deal in his church. It'll ruin church for him. It'll ruin his marriage. Like, fam, so? Like, nah, you don't get no mercy. Nah. You have ruined my life forever. You don't get any mercy. But it was crazy. It was crazy. Um, I had something else. I should have wrote it down, or I typed it up, but I oh yeah. So it was another tragedy, another mass shooting in Buffalo a few days ago. Some little domestic terrorist drove like I believe it was 2 hours. 2 hours. He drove all this way 2 hours to go to this predominantly poor black community, and proceeded to murder people, innocent people, inside of a grocery store. And he live streamed it. He live streamed it. And come to find out, he had been planning it for months publicly. They say he wrote like a 180-page manifesto explaining why and talking about, what he believed, and a lot of this bullshit he was talking about. He was inspired by Tucker Carlson whole ass and a couple of other dumbass people. But he was arrested, unharmed, not a bruise, or nothing. When police showed up, he had on body armor and had his AR-15 in his hand, and all they did was just yell at him and try to get him to put it down. And then he slowly started taking off everything, and then they arrested him. Which is a big slap in the face to black people, black and brown people, because we get beat the hell up just for trying to reach for our insurance card. Or just for nothing. Just because it sounded like a good idea to you. It's terrible what happened to them people. It's old Joe put out a statement, trying to denounce it and all of that. But man, look, man, we sick of these words, man. We sick of these words because this is tradition, honestly, in my opinion. This is tradition. This man murdered, I believe it was he shot, I believe, a total of like 13 people. I believe 10 or 11 of them died. Pardon me if for the inaccuracy, if I am. And already his family is trying to make excuses for him, talking about the pandemic and his anxiety and all of this is what triggered that and all that. Nah, we're not hearing that, and we damn sure not going for the mental illness card. He was not bothered. He was in his right mind because he ran up on a white guy who was hiding on the side of the cash register, and my man go, no. And the shooter goes, sorry, and then moves on and proceeds to go kill black people. So he was in his right mind. Nothing is wrong with him. He knew what he was doing. He was well aware. And he murdered all of these elderly people. It was a young lady, she was 32 years old. But I mean, I have the ages 65, 53, 72, 52, 67, 55, 62, 86, and 77. Gone. Couldn't even spend the rest of their golden years in peace. Woke up that morning, and was like, yo, I'm going to go to the grocery store because I need some eggs. And they never left out the grocery store because of this clown. And the security guard that got, I like the term what they use it because it takes some of the coldness off of it. I've been seeing online they're saying unalived. I kind of like that. So the security guard that became unalived, he was actually a retired police officer. He was working security at the grocery store. I haven't seen any blue lives or nothing, giving him his flowers. I mean, we know why. We didn't have to discuss that. But it's just, yo, man, it's just like tradition, man. It's become tradition. This fool was inspired by a fool. So there's going to be another fool that's inspired by this fool. And the cycle goes on and on. And it's just a shame, man. It's a shame. I can't do any more cliches with the prayers and condolences and thoughts, and it's time for a change and all of this, man, because it's just at this point, like I said, it's damn near like the norm. And Jamel Hill, she tweeted, um, she tweeted the other day about it, and honestly, first of all, I love Jamel Hill, but her, it was I felt every word of it, and it was just quick and to the point. It was just quick and to the point. I'm trying to find. I don't know why I can't find it. But it was just quick and to the point. I wish I could find her tweet. God dog it. But I loved it. It was basically just saying how no more praying, because when you pray, you hope for a change. But I'm paraphrasing, of course. But of course, you know it's not gonna come, or it doesn't seem that it'll come. So she feels compassion and rage for the family and the victims. And I 1000% agree and feel that. Rage and compassion. Because it just keeps happening. But that's what I don't even want to say that's what this country has become, but that's what this country is. It has always been. Here it is. I just found it. She tweeted. She said, "I'm out of thoughts and prayers because clearly this country doesn't give a fuck. The point of praying is the hope for something better, and that better is never going to come. If anything, I feel rage and compassion for the people in Buffalo." And I agree. I agree. But yo, it's getting kind of dark on it on the back end of this. But hey, uh, man, we have to we have to protect these kids, man, because they're in bad shape. We have to protect these kids, man. Because the way it's looking, like our kids are gonna be like in trouble. We have to be better examples. I don't like the whole blame the single mothers and I'm all for the tragedy in Buffalo. This is something different. Um, but I just be seeing these videos, man, these young boys and these young girls. And when I say young, I mean like from the ages of 5 to 16, 18, whatever. And just seeing the path that they're on, man, and it's a path to nowhere. It's a path to pain and hardship, and we have to be better. And I don't like the notion that blame the blame the mother. All I hear is what a mother had, what a parent, and you can't blame just as much as you could blame the single parent, which is usually the mother. You have to. That man gets that blame. That man who shot that club up gets that blame too. Cause where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And it's just too much, man. These videos, man, with these kids, man, they acting grown, and they posing with guns and shooting, fake guns at the camera and all of that, man. And then you got the young girls, man, they out here fighting and being fast and just being disrespectful. It's just kind of it's kind of hard to not kind of it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. But we have to do better, man. But yo, I don't want to end it on that note. So I saw this thing. I don't know if it's real or not, but I wanted to just I wanted to talk about it anyway. It said Jacksonville woman facing sexual battery charges after breaking into a man's house to give him some top. And I thought that headline was like, nah, that can't be real because who would say top? But uh, she tweeted or posted on, I don't know what social media site this is, but she said, "I still can't believe he snitched on me. I swear, if you break into a man's house once and give him some top while he's asleep, they label you. I didn't harm anyone." Yo, uh, I agree with her. Drop them charges, homeboy. What's wrong with you? Drop them charges. But yo, her name is Brittany Jones, and I don't want to get into it too much, but if I ain't mistaken, she looked like this chick that I seen on Pornhub with her little amateur videos. So that's why I can't really, just go with the validity of this whole little thing. But I just thought that was, that's a wild headline. Who pressing charges for that? If anything, she deserved a gift card to Texas Roadhouse. like, like I could just imagine that phone call, or the police show up and you trying to explain your story, your side of the story, showing how you the victim. Like I couldn't be taking a report and you telling me this. Yeah, man, she broke in my house and and then what happened, sir? She proceeded to you know give me a little sloppy toppy. Oh, and then what happened, sir? Um, I came. Okay, so what's the issue? I ain't appreciate it. Oh, okay, yeah. I yo, that's wild to me. But hey, Florida always got something wild going on. I don't care what it is. Like it's something in the water in Florida, man. Florida, yo, if you just Google like headline news in Florida, or just Google like wild headlines or some or unique or crazy strange headlines, man, you would be amazed. It's hilarious. Like I done it. You would be it would crack you up about some of the stuff that be going on, man, in Florida. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the weather or the water or what. But it be some strange activities going on. Strange crimes. Things you didn't even know that was a crime. They be doing it. Stuff you never even thought of. But I think this is true though because it looked like they got the police report attached to it, the charges or whatever this is. But yo, that's a wild arrest, man. But anyway, man, look, y'all, yo, take it easy, man. Let's all be better. Self reflect every day. Self reflect every day. Do personal inventory of yourself and be honest and make them changes, man. Make them changes as you seek fit. Cause yo, you only get one of these, so let's make them joints count. BigZo podcast, man. Till next time, peace.